Good evening, everybody. Live from the Portman Road press box. Good to be back here, albeit it hasn't been a happy hunting ground for Ipswich Town this calendar year, has it? We'll get on to that in a moment. Football is back after the international break. Ipswich Town are back, and it's a clash tonight between two sides yet to get a win at the start of this season. I think when Sky Sports selected this one as an early game for coverage, they weren't expecting that to be the case. Ipswich Town, Championship promotion favourites, fresh from relegation. Sheffield United expected to be up there challenging after their agonising defeat to Sunderland late on in the Championship playoff final back in May. But here we are. Ipswich, three draws and a defeat. Sheffield United, 4 straight defeats in the league, another defeat in the Carabao Cup. A really poor start to the season for the Blades. What has tonight got in store? We're into the unknown from an Ipswich Town perspective. Sheffield United very much feeling the same after their own late flurry of transfer business before the window shut. Shall I run you through the team sheets while a few of you are starting to join me? 2 changes for Ipswich Town since that 2-2 draw against Derby here last time out. That late Jack Clark penalty which snatched a point for Ipswich on another frustrating day, really, another disappointing day. The 2 changes are Connor Chaplin out. As we know, he's gone to Portsmouth on loan now, and that means a full debut for Chuba Akpom, the Ajax loanee. Had no pre-season of note for Ajax. Ipswich have been easing him in. A couple of cameo appearances so far. It looked quite lively against Derby last time. Rifled a shot just over the bar, didn't he? He makes his first start, the former Championship Golden Boot winner with Middlesbrough, of course. Can he start firing Ipswich up the table? Let's see. And a debut for Darnell Furlong, unused sub in that Derby game. £3.5 million signing from West Brom. He replaces Ashley Young, a right back who drops to the bench. The team in full is as follows. In goal, Alex Palmer. Right back, as mentioned, Darnell Furlong. Centre halves, Dara O'Shea, fresh from international duty with the Republic of Ireland, and Jacob Greaves. Leif Davis at left back. Central midfield, Azor Matasiwa and Jens Kajusta. I'm really encouraged by that partnership against Derby last time out. That was Jens Kajusta's first start since his return on loan from Napoli. It didn't he look good, so hopefully they can build on that. And then the attacking unit, the attacking side of the team. Casey McAteer on the right, another who's been away with Ireland over the break. Only his second start for Ipswich Town. Akpom in the 10 slot, as mentioned. And then on the left, Jaden Philogene. And up top, George Hurst, who's been away with Scotland. And that makes for a very strong-looking bench, certainly a much stronger-looking bench than the Ipswich have had in the early stages of the season. Christian Walton, the goalkeeper. Defensive options, Cedric Kipre, Ben Johnson. And then we get into midfield and attacking options. Jack Taylor. And then some new boys. Sindre Vala Egeli, the 19-year-old Norwegian, championship record signing, £17.5 million. He's a left-footed right winger who likes to cut in, but he's versatile. He can play as a 10, play on the left. He might even play as a number 9 in time, says Kieran McKenna. So he's just been away with Norway under-21s. Looked very good too from the highlights. I think he got a goal and an assist, or a goal and 2 assists. Yeah, Alex is nodding. So we'll see if he comes on for his debut today, how long he gets. Really excited to see him in action for the first time. Sam Schmodix on the bench. He returned from Ireland duty early. Had a bit of a swollen ankle, the same ankle that he had a problem with at the back end of last season. But he's fit enough for the bench. Ivan Azon, the Spanish striker on loan from Como. Again, another one who had an impact off the bench on his debut. He'd only met his teammates for the first time the day before. Came on, played his part in Ipswich winning that late penalty. He puts himself about a bit. I think he's going to be one that fans really get behind. Marcelino Nunez, the Chilean midfielder, signed from Norwich, on the bench for the first time, in the squad for the first time. They signed him with a little bit of an ankle issue, Nunez, but we were told he'd be ready after the international break, and he's on the bench today. And Jack Clark as well, the man who came on and got that ice-cold penalty equaliser last time. So you look at those attacking options: Valet Egeli, Schmodix, Azon, Nunez, Jack Clark. There's some firepower there, isn't it? And as we saw the last time Ipswich went up from the Championship, it's not always just about the starters. It's about the finishers, and it's about wearing teams down and then subs coming on and hopefully contributing to that late goal culture. And we've seen a couple of them already, haven't we? Of course, with the Birmingham equaliser and the Derby equaliser as well. I'll take a few messages from you before we start talking about Sheffield United. Good evening, Jay Buckle. Strong bench tonight. Yeah, just touched upon that. Agree. Toby, think we'll see Ageli play tonight. Yes, it depends on the game state, doesn't it? But we asked Kieran McKenna about Ageli after he signed, and we asked him again about him in the pre-match press conference yesterday. He's very much a patience will be required. He's a 19-year-old lad. He's never played in England before. He's come from the Danish league. It's going to be very different, the intensity of this league, to what he's used to. So he's going to need a bit of patience, a bit of support, a bit of encouragement. Don't expect too much too soon. But in the next breath, we're not going to put any limit on what he can achieve. And Ipswich have obviously spent the money they have on him for a reason. This is a young man who Porto and Club Brugge tried to sign in the summer. He was linked to Premier League clubs a year or so ago. There's obvious Haaland comparisons because he's Norwegian and he's got good size about him as well. So you'd like to think he'll come on at some stage if Ipswich are winning, if they're chasing the game. I think we'll see him at some point, but for how long, we'll see. Sheffield United then. We know Ipswich Town haven't won a game yet this season. Late draw at Birmingham, out of the cup to Bromley. Draw here against Southampton, where I thought arguably they were the better side and should have won it. Then that frustrating afternoon at Deepdale, conceded the penalty early on, couldn't break down a very deep, stubborn, organised Preston team. And then Derby, I think, is probably the most frustrating of the lot, really. Ipswich Town had got themselves ahead, in that game. They were playing well in the latter stages of the first half, and then they just give away two really poor goals, don't they, at the start of the second half. Both sort of long, straight balls. One leads to a penalty, one's not defended well at all, and all of a sudden Derby have something to defend, as Preston did, and then it's all the shenanigans of time wasting, injuries, inverted commas, substitutions taking an age, all the dark arts. And in the end, that came to cost them, of course, with the late penalty and Ipswich getting the point. But as Kieran McKenna says, it's not like anyone's been doing cartwheels off the back of that result. It's not what Ipswich want or need. Calendar year, still without an Ipswich Town home win at Portman Road. So that needs to change, doesn't it? Portman Road was the fortress when Ipswich Town went up last time, and it needs to become a fortress again. So is tonight the night? Sheffield United, as I said at the very start of this video, we're not expected to make the start they have. They suffered an instant relegation from the Premier League, as Ipswich Town did last season. That was in 23-24. Bounced back from that pretty well, despite a 2 points deduction for financial irregularities. They still managed to finish third with 90 points. Last season, smashed Bristol City in over two legs in the semis, and then suffered heartbreak, very late heartbreak against Sunderland at Wembley. Chris Wilder controversially sacked, allegedly because he wouldn't embrace AI technology and data systems for recruitment and things like that. A few eyebrows raised when they went and got Ruben Sayers, who had just been sacked by Hull despite keeping them up. Previously at Reading during their kind of chaotic period, again with financial irregularities. They've made a ton of signings. I mean, they lost some really key players over the summer. Vinicius Souza, their Brazilian midfielder, playmakers, gone to Wolfsburg for 13 million. I struggle with this. Ahmed Hodzic, formerly linked to Ipswich, when Ipswich went up, he went to Feyenoord for 15 million, there or thereabouts. Kiefer Moore, needs no introduction to Town fans, went to Wrexham. As we know, for a couple of million. So they were some big exits for Sheffield United. They've had a late flurry of signings. Things have happened late for them in the window, as they have with Ipswich. Tahith Chong from Luton, midfielder. Alex Matos from Chelsea on loan. Mark McGuinness, who Ipswich Town fans might remember being on loan during the Paul Lambert League One days. Then me, experienced Premier League centre-half, now coming towards the back end of his career on a free from Brentford. They've signed a few. There's some familiar faces in there, as I've touched upon. Mark McGuinness, Louis Barry, another former Ipswich Town loanee on the left wing. They've signed Chio Bene on loan from Town. Obviously can't feature tonight against his parent club. Is there anyone else I'm missing? Ben Godfrey at right back, who was on loan obviously for Ipswich in the second half of last season. That didn't work out, did it? So I'll read out their team for you. It's 3 changes tonight, and one of them's a really surprising one. In goal, Michael Cooper, then Godfrey at right back. Centre halves, it's a completely new centre half pairing for them. Japhet Tanganga, who's arrived from Millwall fairly late in the window, £7.5 million. I think he's a really good centre half, and he's paired with Mark McGuinness for the first time today, debut for him. Harrison Burrows, formerly of Peterborough, stepped up from League One and got like Leif Davis, got a hatful of assists from left back last season. Midfield 3 of Callum O'Hare, former Coventry schemer. Who else have we got? We've got Sidey Peck, he's their captain today. He's just been added to the England under-21 squad recently, and we were expecting Gustavo Hamer to be the other man, someone who's been linked with upward moves for several transfer windows now, their main sort of goal and assister in recent times. He drops out the team today. He's on the bench. And that means it's a debut for Alex Matos, who I mentioned, the youngster on loan from Chelsea. And then the 3 up top is Andre Brooks on the right, Louis Barry, who I mentioned, the former Ipswich loanee, on the left. And it looks like Tom Cannon is going to be the central striker today. Tyrese Campbell was dropped to the bench. No Danny Ings, again, another experienced Premier League player who they've signed on a free from West Ham late in the window. He's not among the subs. Just to cap it off, the bench for Sheffield United is Adam Davies, Sam McCallum, former Norwich, I believe, Gus Hamer, then me, Jibril Sumara, Tyrese Campbell, Tahith Chong, Ryan, help me out, Ryan Une, well, I don't know the pronunciation of that, not sure. One, we'll go with One, and Femi Siriki as well. So that's Sheffield United. Any thoughts? Any thoughts on tonight's game? I want to make this as interactive as possible. Excited about this dawn of a new era, a new look team. Certainly some more attacking options. Nervous about the start that Ipswich have made and potentially leaving themselves too much. Let's have a little look. This is it's not from nobody because it's got to be from somebody, but that's your screen name. I'll take the scruffy 3 points. Starting to click. We need a high tempo start. Agree on all of those points there. Nobody. I think it's all about points at this stage. Kieran McKenna and coaches will always talk about performances first and foremost, and if you look after that, the points follow. But I just think Ipswich need to get a result over the line for everybody's collective confidence, just to calm any jitters and nerves. And it's important that we start to see a team start to come together now during that League One Championship promotion back-to-back charge. That team, we knew it, didn't we? It rolled off the target. It was in the Championship season. Hackey in goal, Twanzebe at right back, Wolfenden, Burgess, Davis, Morsey, Luongo, Burns, Chaplin, Broadhead, Hurst. Just had a ring to it, didn't it? And wasn't the case in the Premier League. A lot of change last season. Injuries didn't help to people like Calvin Phillips, others as well. But so many different partnerships all over the pitch. Couldn't get a centre half pairing going. Greaves had that early injury. Right side chopping and changing constantly. Again, Burns injured in January onwards. Really, it was only Delap and Hutchinson that were playing lots and lots of football. Sam Morsey as well. That needs to change. Kieran McKenna needs to settle on a team and get some partnerships growing. 100% agree on that. Some score predictions coming in. Reginald Barker, 3-1 Ipswich win. Yes, please, Reginald, take that. I've gone for 2-1. 2-1 tonight. Defensively, Ipswich need to improve. I think actually, in general terms, they've defended pretty well in these games. I thought they weathered some storms Birmingham well on the opening day. If you look at it, they've limited the opposition to very few clear-cut chances and shots on goal over the course of the 4 or 5 games. But the goals conceded have been poor, and I touched upon it. The Derby game in particular, they were poor goals to concede, weren't they? Fairly Group 1 direct balls that Ipswich have to do better. Can't be giving away goals like that. And then at the attacking side of things, we're waiting for them to click. We're waiting for those patterns to play, to really sort of become apparent to us. How many times did we see Leif Davis on the overlap, cut back, Connor Chaplin there to sweep it in first time, middle of the box? I don't really know, excuse me, what Ipswich's go-to players at the moment. Of the goals scored so far, off the top of my head, 2 penalties, 1 from a corner. Set pieces are important, of course. 1's an own goal. So not been loads of goals from open play. So hopefully that can change tonight. Any more questions? Stephen Gerling, why didn't we go for Ings? I think he would have been one for me that I talked about going into the Premier League, where you need a little bit of Premier League nous and experience, someone that wouldn't necessarily play every week, but would be able to provide that off the pitch and maybe have an impact off the bench at times, which didn't go down that route. Going into this championship season, they've decided that Hurst is worthy of the number 9 shirt with his goals per minute ratio in the Premier League. Confidence boost from getting into the Scotland camp. He's done it before in the Championship, and they've supported him with even Azon, who's a loanee. With if that goes well, they took away the option to buy clause, I think, because of some slight concerns at the medical stage. But that if Ipswich want to buy him, if they go up, there's a chance that could go on. So they've got this down the younger backup / rotation route in the striker end of things. Will those 2 be enough, with Chuba Akpom also able to play number 9 over the course of the season? I hope so. We'll see. But I think that's obviously Ipswich have decided to go for a younger end of the scale rather than the older end of the striker unit going into this season. Okay. It's definitely really good on paper. We've been discussing this, haven't we? Is this squad better than the one Ipswich Town went up with last time? It's been a big debate. A lot of emotion attached to the likes of Chaplin and Wolfenden, Morsey, all those that have left this summer. But when you step back and take a look at it, it's a damn good squad, isn't it? Should be for Championship level. 2 Championship Golden Boot winners in there. A Championship Golden Glove winner in Alex Palmer. Jacob Reeves was in Championship Team of the year that Ipswich went up with Hull. And the list goes on and on and on. And it cost a pretty penny, close to £50 million in transfer fees. Plenty more with some hefty loan fees in there as well. Football isn't played on paper though, and this is the mixed feelings part of it, isn't it? That what the special sauce, the thing that made Ipswich so good over those back-to-back promotions was, the whole was worth more than the sum of its parts, wasn't it? It was the chemistry, it was the connection with the fans, it was the characters, it was all of that good stuff, wasn't it? And now the task for Kieran McKenna is to build all of that again with a new group, which hopefully is more talented on paper, but it's now getting them to go through shared experiences and, as Kieran McKenna says, shared experiences like last time against Derby, not being great, facing frustration, but still being able to get something at the end of it. Hopefully that's helped. But we're just at the start of this next chapter, aren't we? It's been a frustrating start. We've not really seen Akpom yet. We've not seen Furlong. We've not seen several players that are going to be key cogs in this team. So tonight and the next few weeks, I think, will give us a truer indicator of where Ipswich Town are at this season. George Williams here, long old season. Just want to see a team performance and that identity to come through. Definitely, George, it is a marathon, not a sprint. I think there's plenty of examples of teams that have started slow. Leeds, when they went up, didn't get off to the best start. There's others that have been bottom of the table around Christmas time and gone up via playoffs. There's examples of that, of course. What Ipswich Town don't want to be doing is suddenly getting to blink and it's 5-10 games in and there's a bit of catch up to do, and that adds pressure to things, doesn't it? So it is important while this gelling process goes on, that they get some points along the way and some wins along the way. And tonight represents an opportunity, no doubt about it. Sheffield United have got some good players themselves. When you look at that squad and that team, and they're not going to be where they are, come the final reckoning, probably not in the next few weeks and months. But at the moment, all is not well at Bramall Lane, and the manager's under pressure. There was even some thought that Sayers would get sacked before this game, but he's still in charge. Ipswich Town need to take advantage. We keep talking about time to gel for Ipswich. It's the same as so many other clubs in the Championship. As I mentioned, Sheffield United have made 12 signings themselves. They've got a new manager. Derby, I think, had 12 signings going into the last game. So Ipswich Town are not alone in trying to bed players in and build partnerships. The difference is Ipswich have had the pick of the market compared to a lot of their rivals. Bodysuit guy, interesting name. I'm pessimistic. Hope I'm proved wrong. I understand the nerves. This is, as I say, an unknown period for Ipswich at this moment in time. What else have we got? My mouse works. Ipswich Town, old boy. We have the right group and some adversity for them to run towards. Yep. That mantra is very much going to come into things now. From what I understand, from what I heard Mark Ashton say in his club interview, he said Jason Shechtily, the former firefighter who suffered those severe burns and has such an inspirational tale to tell about the running towards adversity mantra that's associated with where the money comes from, with the ownership. He is coming over to speak to all of the new signings soon, and I think that's great, and that's going to help build that culture. How's the atmosphere? Nervy or optimistic? Ground's just starting to fill up now. Evening game, people are probably clocked off from work on a Friday, maybe had a few pints before the game. I think Friday night games under the lights always have a little bit more electricity in the air, certainly compared to like a Sunday lunchtime, don't they? So I'm really hoping for a good atmosphere tonight. I'm sure we'll get it. It's going to start to build soon. As you hear Fatboy Slim right here, right now, kicking in, you know the teams are not far away when that comes in. We'll get the iconic ding ding soon.
Hello everyone, Alex here. Sorry about that one. I think we were just wrapping up, or Stu rather was just wrapping up. Here he is. There we go. I'm sure he's done a great job. I've been listening in from the side, but yeah, here we go. Kickoff coming up in around 6 minutes. Thank you for tuning in to watch Stu before the internet died. Enjoy the game, guys. Holligan and Solskjaer's here on the screen. He's here in attendance. So yeah, see you guys on the other side of this game.